too.
Hello and welcome back to the Pacific Perspectives podcast. I am Nux Memes, along with Mimamoto. We do not have a guest this week, sadly, because sometimes we just kind of don't ask a guest to come on, and then they don't. That's how that works. Anyway, we've had a very interesting week in the NHL. I mean, not really for my team, but there's still a lot to talk about. So, Xavier is frozen.
I'm here.
Your screen is whatever. What do you want to start with?
Well, it's never a boring week with the Oilers. As much as I thought that was going to be what the year is, but they've just decided that they don't really want to play good hockey anymore. And we can go over the two games that were most important. Is the two Florida games. They played the Florida Panthers, and from the get-go, they just were absolutely not dominated. It's not like the Panthers were totally outplaying them. Just their structure destroyed the Oilers, and it's just such a bad mismatch. And we've seen it in the finals last year, not so much the first year, where they just seem incapable of having an answer. You know, with any other team, it's like the Oilers kind of maybe they can get dominated for stretches, they can have the puck in their own zone, but eventually, especially towards the end of the game, they'll find their offense. Maybe they can tie it up, but they seem to have a killer instinct that allows them to get through kind of any team structure. And you think they've played the Dallas Stars, who have been second in the league for basically the entire time they've played them in the conference finals, and they have found a way to outplay the Dallas Stars and play around their structure despite struggling early on in those series. But against the Panthers, they just still have their number, and it's their structure because they're missing half of their good players. Like Barkov hasn't been in the lineup all year. Barkov wasn't in the game they just played, and still, that defensive prowess that the Oilers basically never got a legit chance on net. They got to the net, they got shots from around the net, and especially from the point, but they never really had a dangerous look actually get to Bobrovsky. He maybe had like one or two on Savoy, but the issue was they couldn't get legit pucks on net. They were just disrupted every time. And as much as I do think that game was called poorly, that's just the Florida Panthers game where they know exactly the right point in the rule book to kind of play at that line. You know, they're boarding guys left, right, and center. They're interfering, but it's not so much that it's obvious, and it's not so much that it genuinely kind of interferes with the play. It's just, if you read the rule book a different way, maybe they'd be okay. But then they play Tampa, and in this game, I did feel like they were playing really good. I went to that game. I was at the absolute last row, the highest up you can be in Rogers Place for like a regular viewer, not in the press box. And I thought they played good. I think the shots were like 27, 25, so not in a game at all that was super mismatched. They definitely led in high danger chances, but Kucherov just dropped his nuts on us. Like he was basket hanging on our blue line the entire game, and it resulted in 2 goals for them. And I can say early on in that game, Tampa was pressing, and then the Oilers pressed, and then eventually something weird happened where Bouchard got kind of boarded, kind of interfered with, kind of hit in the head, and they didn't do anything. And, you know, that call happens sometimes. That's whatever. It resulted in a goal, so that's unfortunate, about 20 seconds after, because Bouchard was taken out of the play. And then, an absolute nut drop by Kucherov. I think it was Emil Lilleberg took McDavid out of the play on the 5-on-3, 5-on-4 kind of in between. And for me, that call is 50-50. It could have been interference. It totally could have been interference. No. It totally could have been interference. Okay.
How?
He doesn't actually have control of the puck for about 3 seconds there. He lets go of the puck. He lets go of the puck. 1, 2, 3, Lilleberg hits him.
No.
To me, if you don't call that interference, it happens. Again, it's 50-50 call. You can live with it. But they consistently called that the other way this game. That's what made the officiating in this game specifically so frustrating. The exact same call that I just talked about for Bouchard, the kind of interference, kind of boarding, kind of a headshot, Nurse got called for, and then in the scrum resulting afterwards, someone dropped their gloves with McDavid. What do you think he's going to do? McDavid's not going to drop the gloves. McDavid also gets called for roughing, despite doing absolutely nothing. And again, that's a call where it's like it happens in a game sometimes, where you pick one from each side. But McDavid did nothing, and then they made it a power play.
Come on here and just lie, just blatantly lie. I'm watching the video back. McDavid gets hit in the same second that he loses the puck.
No!
He bobbles the puck.
No!
The same second. The same exact second. I'm watching it right now. I have it paused here. He's just lost the puck here. It's 3:10. It's 3:10, and he's just lost the puck. And then it's 3:09. It just clicked.
But what do you define? What do you define as possession? Because he doesn't have his stick on the puck for like 5 seconds.
Because he bobbles it, but he's still playing the puck.
I'd say he still is trying to play the puck for about a couple more seconds.
You're such a fucking pussy if you think that's ever interference. If that gets called against the Oilers, you're crying for an hour.
That got called interference. That got called interference this game. This game it got called for interference.
That is absolutely never a call. And McDavid was just a selfish little bitch who decided not to pass the puck. He wanted to go.
It was a selfish play.
And then he lost the puck. And so Moser drops a dime to Kucherov, the real best player in the league, and Kucherov scores it. First career shorty. I mean, I don't know how you can be mad at the refs there for not calling something that should never be called. Be mad at McDavid for trying to do that and then giving up a goal the other way.
No, that's fair. I mean,
the worst time he could have ever tried to do that.
McDavid he had some selfish plays in this game. I think because Draisaitl's out on the power play, he kind of has to be the finisher on that play because it doesn't seem like the Oilers power play right now is just ridiculously frustrating because they have the personnel. There's tons of power plays they've had where Draisaitl doesn't even touch the puck, but it's still automatic. Maybe he touches the puck once. It's like just the fact that they know he's not there has ruined their confidence on the power play so much. And I do think that psychologically for the penalty kill, knowing that option on just like Draisaitl has a stupid shooting percentage from that spot that no one else can accomplish, and having that threat, it's just like having Bouchard down low. Even if he's not shooting on that specific power play, the penalty kill knows that that's a threat. Now they know they don't have to worry about Draisaitl there. So that clearly has ruined their power play. If I don't know the stats, but I'm pretty sure they're 1 for their last 14 after going 3 for their last 8 before that. I mean, this is a power play that was 35% all year, and now Dallas is probably going to pass them for how good it's 31-29 right now for the Stars. If the Stars have another good power play game like they did the last week, and nobody else is even close to them, so the Stars might take them when the Oilers were going to beat their own record for having the best power play ever. So, and again, at 5v5, they were outplaying Tampa. It's not that this is a bad team and they have bad structure, and it's just so frustrating because I saw the game. I don't know if the cameras even got it, but after McDavid got sunned by Lilleberg and Kucherov dropped his nuts on Connor Ingram and went the other way, he slammed the door 2 times, broke a stick on the bench, and put his head in his hands. And it's like, yeah, because he's not getting the calls. And again, all of those calls in isolation, it's whatever. It's 50-50. It happens. Someone gets boarded. They don't catch it. That's just the nature of the NHL.
5-on-3.
Yeah.
You didn't score on a 5-on-3. You're talking about how your power play sucks, and then you're saying, "Oh, I wish I had more power play."
No, I'm just saying the game overall was frustrating for a multitude of reasons, and you can tell that they were getting frustrated by how certain calls were going. They had a scrum where 2 guys on Tampa dropped the gloves. That is the definition of instigating. That is the definition of instigating. 1 player on Tampa got an instigator, and McDavid got a roughing for not dropping the gloves. Because it's like, oh, we got to take 2. We got to take 2 out of that pile. I hate the way the NHL does this. And then, the way they got that 5-on-3 was one of the stupidest slashing calls I've seen. And it was in the Oilers' favor. This is the way that the NHL officiates, is they know they made a bad call, so they have to get a softer call to the other side. What was that? Tim Peel, 5 years ago, he was like, oh, I wanted to give Nashville a penalty. They still do that. They do that every game. Sometimes it boils over in a game like that where it was such a good game. It was so close. And it's not even the fact that, oh, they didn't get a power play or not. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating for the team to know that it's not being policed correctly.
Your team is dog. Like, that's what it boils down to. Your team is absolute dog. And the only reason they're even making the
I will
playoffs is
not be
because
rage
they're the worst
baited.
division in NHL history. Like, and they still might not. They still might not make it. They still might not make it because they can't win a game.
See,
And winning a game is pretty important.
I think the fact that they're in the Pacific Division is actually making them worse because this team thrives under pressure, and there hasn't been a lick of pressure all year.
Oh Lord! Oh, you are pissing me off right now.
We're
Your
like
team
10
is
minutes
dog.
in.
Your team is just simply absolute garbage. Like, there is pressure right now, and they're still shit because your goalies are Tristan Jarry and fucking Connor Ingram.
Ingram
Like,
actually has been
they're
fine.
bad.
Ingram has been fine. The thing with Ingram is
Not winning games.
he's the goalie I've wanted for a while that just he's really cheap. He's not insane. He's no Igor Shesterkin, but he doesn't lose you games. I don't think I've seen an Ingram game. I think I have some qualms with the Robert Thomas overtime winner a few games ago. I think maybe that's a predictable shot. But I mean, the team collapsed on him. But again, he doesn't lose you games. Usually when Ingram loses, it's because the team didn't have a good effort, which they haven't. They haven't at times against Tampa, even though they played really well. They just were not engaged from the get-go. And that seems to be consistent. That's what I talk about. They thrive under pressure, and they don't have any pressure. It's like McDavid said, it's a pillow fight. I thought that was an amazing quote he had, where he said the Pacific Division is a pillow fight. But they've got to win some games.
Hey, you know what's really funny? Stuart Skinner's save percentage is for Edmonton this season. Stuart Skinner's save percentage was .001 better than what Connor Ingram's is.
0-0-1. And I think we were much worse defensively behind Stuart Skinner too, so he wasn't having that horrible of a year. I think we definitely messed up with that. But even though we definitely should have moved on from him.
How beautiful would it be if Skinner went on a playoff run with Pittsburgh, just like carried them?
I think it's entirely possible that, first of all, that the Penguins last longer than the Oilers in the playoffs at this point. I think I remember telling you a couple months ago, I think the Ducks could very easily upset the Oilers. Like, they play a style that is kind of not counter to ours, but it plays our style a little better. And with so many young players coming up with something to prove, first time in the playoffs, if they have that excitement and the Oilers, for some reason, don't get that intensity, because they have not had it for more than 2 games at a time this year, and we can't just assume that's just going to magically turn on the playoffs. I would like to say that, and I would like to see that. I think they could probably still have a chance at winning a cup if that happens, but we can't assume that, right? It's anyone's division.
I don't think that Anaheim Edmonton is a series that's going to happen. I don't see it happening.
Why not?
Well, I just don't think the seeding is going to work that way. I don't think it would be a first round matchup.
No, I don't think so.
And I don't think both of those teams are getting out of the first round.
That's fair. See, the issue is Vegas. I think Vegas Edmonton is basically locked in, unless the Kings really go on a run, and they kind of were doing okay, but still, again, they're 28-41 on the season. That's pretty ridiculous, and they're 1 point out. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny. Pittsburgh is now they're 35-34, but they have 16 overtime losses. They have as many wins this season as the Devils, who are like very far out of the playoff picture. Like, that's crazy.
It's okay when it happens to a team I like. How about the Columbus Surge?
I wanted to say about Pittsburgh too, the fact that their goalie tandem heading into playoffs, assuming that they're gonna make it, is Skinner Shelovs, and both of those guys can be playoff risers. I mean, Skinner has had some good moments. Shelovs has had some good moments in the big spot.
That's totally fair.
It's interesting to think that, like, probably hope that. I mean, they just have to hope that one of those guys can lock in like they have before. That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's like the cheapest playoff riser tandem you can get to. Because what's Seelaw's making? Yeah. Like $1 million. Skinner's making 2.7. Yeah, so you got almost $4 million for two guys that have single-handedly. Well, I think Seelov's almost single-handedly won that Edmonton series because he really locked it down for a couple of games. That's two guys who have basically single-handedly already won teams, and they're young goalies still. Even Skinner, they've single-handedly won teams playoff series, and now they've
Yeah.
found themselves
I
on
mean,
different teams.
yeah, Shilov's got a shutout in Game 6 against Nashville. That was pretty crazy. I mean, it wasn't like the highest shooting series of all time. I can't think of how many saves he made, but he was still standing on his head. He also got Latvia the bronze in the
True.
World Championships a couple of years ago. So, I mean, that would be interesting to see. But likely right now, their very likely matchup is against Columbus, and Columbus has Greaves, who has been really, really good this season. So that's still tough. I think I would take Columbus, maybe. I don't know. It will be nice to see Crosby back in playoffs. Hopefully, the Penguins hold on to that spot. It's
Honestly,
really close in that East.
I might be sleeping on them, but I watched a couple Jackets games post coach firing. I don't see them going. I don't see them even winning 3 games. I don't see them going to Game 7 against whoever it is from the Metro, whether it's the Islanders or the Penguins. Obviously, I'd probably favor them against the Islanders, but I don't know. They just don't seem like a team that has a lot of killers. They do have some veterans, but I just don't see them, especially special teams. I don't see them getting over Pittsburgh. If the Jet Greaves sensational run continues, I mean anything can happen. I'm just saying I think I favor the veteran leadership of Pittsburgh, and even though they actually have not won a playoff series in quite a long time, even when they were decent with Crosby post those second cups. Uh, we'll see how it goes. I really love Pittsburgh this year.
Well, Columbus would have, I guess. Who would you say would be the best player in that series? Would you say Crosby or would you say Werenski?
Wierenski easily.
Yeah, I would think so. So Columbus also has that going for them. Definitely the better defense. I think forward depth wise, I think I like Pittsburgh more right now because I know Columbus is trotting out Danton Heinen, and that just doesn't really scream success to me. But I like a lot of what Pittsburgh has going on there. It would be an evenly matched series, I think. I don't think interesting is the right word. I think that would probably be the lamest first round playoff
No,
series.
that would be. I mean, it would be more interesting than the
Well,
3 Jackets Penguin series we got in the 2010s for sure.
okay, but like, what other possible first round matchup would be worse than Pittsburgh Columbus? Or one would you care
Uh,
about less?
um, Colorado and whoever is the second wild card, and that's it.
I still think that's interesting just because it's Colorado. I mean that they're an exciting team to watch, especially in the playoffs. So, like, I don't think it would be evenly matched like Columbus Pittsburgh is, but I think it would still be more interesting to watch because you get to watch
Fairs.
guys like McKinnon and Makar versus I don't know. I mean, if it's Colorado LA, like that's a pretty good series. So you
That
got
actually
some
would be
star
pretty
power
fun.
on LA too.
I was going to
Yeah,
say Ducks Utah, but I feel like I really
that
want
would
to
be
see
fire.
Utah in their first playoff. Same with you with the
I
Ducks too. They haven't
would
been there for a while.
absolutely Ducks Utah would be such a fun series.
That feels
I
like
would
such a
love
fake
that.
series because that's probably going to happen. It's almost like 50% chance to happen because the Ducks are
Yeah.
going to win the division. Like that's kind of set in stone, and nobody's even close to Utah for the wild card. Nashville's 5 points back.
With a game in hand. But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to catch up to Utah. So, oh, the really interesting thing about this Western playoff race, well, there are many interesting things, but one interesting thing is the fact that the Kings play the Canucks 3 more times before the year ends.
Ooh,
So that is pretty big for them. If they're looking ahead on the schedule, they get 3 games against the team that currently has 50 points.
actually, you know what? That's horrible for them. That they got to play the late season Canucks when they're
Yeah.
supposed to be
Well,
tanking three
I was
times. It's
also
over.
yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like we won't have anything to play for. I mean, we have 32nd wrapped up right now. 13 points back of Calgary with like what 13 games left. We have to make up a 500-point pace, and that's if Calgary loses every single game. That's not happening. So we have nothing to play for, and at that point we can afford to win games because we're not going to ruin our draft position. But the thing that interested me more is the fact that the last game of the season is Vancouver versus Edmonton. And if it gets to the point where Edmonton is kind of like on the edge, it
Stop.
would be so fucking funny
No.
if Vancouver beat them in that game to ruin their playoff chances.
Oh, I can imagine it right now. I don't think it'll get that bad. Again, I
I
think
don't think
once
so
they
either.
really feel the pressure, they're gonna just lock in for a little bit, and that's typically how it goes. I was most concerned actually, if we're talking about the Oilers here. I was most concerned with Draisaitl's comments in Germany. He said, "We'll be back. I'll probably be back in a few weeks," which like a little vague, but also lines up with 4 or 5 weeks the playoffs. He said the team said he's out until for the end of the regular season, so that still adds up. But he said, "I hope they can go long enough that I can help them again." What the hell does that mean, Leon? Are you gone for the entire first round? Which, still, I don't think I'd be all that worried about. I mean, I'd be worried about it, but we're playing probably Vegas, and if not Vegas, the Kings or Seattle. I'm not too. Those are not exactly world beaters. Like in a world where the Oilers are 18th in the league and are in a playoff spot, those guys are all below that. So it's not like they have a ton of competition in the first round. So if there's going to be a round that he's going to miss, I wouldn't be too worried about that. But hopefully he'd be back for the second round. Just my goodness, they need to get it together.
So assuming the Eastern Division spots stay how they are right now, who do you think are the two teams that will take the wild card spots?
See, that's tough. I think the Islanders have had the playoff spot the entire year. So it really sucks to see that they're out. I actually want to say that Ottawa is going to take the spot from Boston, and I do think the Senators will end up making it, but I think they're going to be taking it from Detroit. Sadly,
Yeah,
Detroit just
I
really
mean
has been playing really bad.
the game yesterday, Boston Detroit, that was kind of a sad one.
Yeah,
The game-winning goal by Boston was from Nikita Zadorov, and it was like a wrister from just inside the blue line with like no traffic. That's a very bad way to lose that game. Uh, Detroit and Ottawa play on Tuesday night, so that's going to be a huge game. I actually cannot think of a single sporting event that I would be more. I forgot the word. My brain has turned into mush this week. Um, Come back to me.
yeah. We'll put a pin in that. What do you? A team that would be more exciting to see.
No, no, no. Like the matchup of Detroit and Ottawa, I'm very torn on it. Because I really like Detroit and Ottawa, and I want both of them to make it. But
Yeah,
realistically, only one of them is going to end up making it.
I just think that the Senators are isolating, taking out their goaltending, which still hasn't improved substantially. But even Allmark's been better, but they're still just like a pretty poor goaltending team. Their advanced metrics are awesome. They are a top 8 possession team. What were you gonna say?
Conflicted.
Conflicted.
I've worked so many hours this week. I'm genuinely dying. I haven't had a rest day in like 11 days. So that's my excuse there. There's no possible sporting event I can be more conflicted on than Tuesday's Detroit versus Ottawa game. Because I really want to see both of them make it. I mean, I don't even know who to cheer for on that. I guess I just hope for overtime, hope that they both get a point from it, and hope that Boston and the Islanders both just lose. And Philadelphia. Philadelphia has actually been really good.
Yeah, I was gonna
They
mention like we're so excited about Detroit's gonna make it. You know they're finished the rebuild. Ottawa's gonna make it. They have such a good young team. Montreal is in it. Dude, the Flyers could eat just as they have a game in hand on Detroit and are only backed by 4 points. They could very easily make the playoffs. They would very soundly be in the playoffs in the West. Like
they also
it's kind of stupid because they're not that
they
good.
just swept they just swept their Californian road trip, and it was some of the dumbest shit I've ever
I don't
seen.
know how they
Like
win
they played
games.
very well against San Jose. The overtime between Philadelphia and Anaheim was so dumb that I made a full video on it. Like it was just dog shit. They Neither team knew how to play that. And then the Philadelphia LA game was also an overtime game. And like they were kind of stumbling along, but they're getting wins right now. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. They have a the 3-game win streak going. They've brought themselves back into this conversation.
Yep.
They were in that conversation for quite a while, and then they fell out, and now they're back.
Pretty awesome.
And they would also be tied for the lead in the Pacific Division.
Who
But
wouldn't?
Anaheim would.
You know?
Anaheim gets the tiebreaker because of regulation wins. But
Yeah, well.
still, that is the 11th place team in the Eastern Conference that would be tied for the lead in the Pacific Division.
It's good for them because they should not be wanting to make the playoffs. They'll at least get a kind of shot at the lottery. Again, you look at their lineup. I don't know how they're winning games. Frankly, like the guys that are supposed to be scoring on that team aren't really scoring. They've just unlocked Noah Cates to a new level.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cates has been really good recently.
Just the most random player ever to come out and be a legit two-way threat.
Also, Matvei Michkov was terrible in that overtime against Anaheim, and he got an assist because he toe dragged and then forgot to shoot the puck, and it ended up behind the net, and Noah Cates scored it off the goalie. So he got an assist out of that, despite playing terrible the whole overtime. And then against LA, he was terrible in that overtime too, and then got the shootout winner. So he just kept on getting rewarded for being ass. It was crazy. But yeah, no, this team sucks. I guess Vladar has been able to be pretty good throughout the whole season. He's kind of sustained the success. He hasn't been as good as he was early season, but
Yeah,
it's been fine enough. Yeah,
honestly.
like their top scoring defenseman has 31 points. Even the Canucks' top scoring defenseman has more than that.
I mean, we can sit here and say how bad the West and specifically the Pacific is. Like, yeah, like you said, Philly would be tied for the division lead, but thank God that team's not making the playoffs. Oh my goodness. That'd be so sad.
10 points.
That's a good question. How many games has he played?
49 games, played 10 points. How many points do you think he had in 35 games for Vancouver last year?
0.
0. Yeah.
I remember that. That's right.
I hated him. He just followed Rick Tocchet so he'd get minutes.
That's disgusting. You know what? He knows his role. He knows his guy. He's gonna make his millions.
Let me talk about the Canucks real quick.
Okay.
Just because I mentioned earlier they have 32nd basically locked up, which would be a top 3 pick guaranteed. When they lose both lotteries, what do you think they should do with the 3rd overall pick?
They should trade it for Lucas Reichel.
Okay. So you had me in the first part of that.
No, don't trade it.
Lost me.
Do not trade it. You take take Keaton Fairhoff and you lick your wounds.
But I'd rather chase Reed over Verhoff. Even then,
Me too, but they're not taking the right guy.
Our positional need is absolutely forward. And I there have been times where they'll draft for position before, like when they took Yolevi over Kachuk, instead of taking best player available, and that has been annoying. But in this case, where best player available, what are you doing? What has just happened? What just happened?
A little earthquake. That's okay. Continue.
In this case, when best player available is either Keaton Verhoff or Chase Reed, it isn't quite as intriguing as Matthew Tkachuk. So, what would stop them? Would it really be such a bad idea to trade down to 7 or 8 and take Caleb Malhotra while also getting more assets back?
I like that idea. Like, if you can get maybe a late first, I'm not sure how the math would work out, but if you get 7 and 32, I feel like for this specific draft, I'd probably do that.
We aren't getting 32, I can guarantee you that.
A high second.
Unfortunately, 32 cannot be traded.
Oh. Oh, that's correct. Yeah.
31.
Yeah. Either way.
I don't hate the idea because I just don't think we particularly need a defenseman with our first pick this year because we have Bouillon, we have Villander. You know, we have a good start in our young defensemen, and we have nothing on forward. And I don't really want to stack up on defensemen, especially because next year our goal is to get Landon DuPont.
Yep.
And then if we take a defenseman here and win the lottery next year and get DuPont, I mean, we'll have the most stacked top 4 in league history, but our forward group is going to be like Liam Ogren and Jonathan Lecker-Mackey and Braden Coots and no one else. Like
Marco
that's
Rossi, he's still there.
yeah. By the time we're competitive, he might be like 30, but it's okay.
But you know what?
Yeah,
That's
Marco
how I
Rossi is
know.
the goat.
That's how I know that they're not losing this lottery, because a top 3 pick would never be traded in the NHL ever.
Yeah. They got to get top 2. I mean, we have to end up with McKenna or Stenberg. It's been very clear that that's the case the whole year, and it's probably going to be Stenberg no matter what pick we end up getting. Although I hope that they take McKenna if they get first overall. The other idea is like trading up from third overall, but I think it might cost too much to even go from third to second. So I don't know. But you could also hope whatever team is drafting second really needs a defenseman.
Yeah.
And let's have our Stenberg fall to third.
That's not
In that
impossible.
case, you're very happy.
It's really not
No,
impossible.
it's not.
I think the most likely pick, well, the most likely pick, like mathematically for them, is second, and I think that's probably what ends up happening. It's probably where you're totally comfortable picking second and getting the whatever is left over from McKenna Stenberg.
Third overall is 55% chance.
Really?
So, yeah.
Did they change the odds again?
I don't know. I've seen that on Tankathon.
Terrible.
Let's see. I'll go check it. The good news is that teams can only move up 10 spots, so if any of the teams from 11 to 6 or from 12 to 16 win a lottery somehow, then we will get a top 2 pick that way too.
Man,
that might be a big reach though.
That just reminded me of the tanks, the just incredulous, terrible, stupid tanks that are going on right now between Toronto and Florida. I mean, if you look at that Toronto roster, it is 2016 trying to get Austin Matthews levels of tanking. It is just disgustingly
Gruel is
bad.
ruining it.
It is disgusting.
Bo Gruel won't let them tank.
Right? And Florida, I gotta respect it. They locked in. They played all their guys. They locked in. They played all their guys that were available besides Reinhardt, who I don't care. He's not ill and staying home. He's tanking. The team is tanking, and he's giving him a week off. There's like no way around it. Florida locks in against Edmonton, and then they immediately shut down Losterainen and a lot of other guys. And they're still 10th last in the league. Toronto's 8th, and both guys I think Toronto needs it to be bottom 10, and they get their pick back. Toronto also needs it to be bottom 5. So
Toronto needs bottom 5.
That might happen, might not. Everyone behind them has games in hand, so that's a good sign for them. I think San Jose definitely passes them because they're 3 games in hand, 1 point behind. Winnipeg is 1 point behind, 1 game in hand. St. Louis is 4 points behind, but 2 games in hand. But they got their late season shenanigans, even though it's not as magical. The team I'd really worry about there is if Winnipeg smells that they're too close to the playoffs and they don't start to shut guys down. They could maybe keep going, but Toronto, it would just be disgusting if the Bruins got the 6th overall pick. Like they were on the cusp and they didn't get it. Oh man. That'd be even better is if they finish bottom 5 and then lose, and then someone jumps them in the lottery and they end up 6th. Either way,
the Canucks have a 25.1% chance at first overall, an 18.6% chance at second overall, and a 56.3% chance at third overall.
that stinks. That really stinks.
Yeah, because definitely no one deserves first overall more than us.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we're not going to get it is quite sad.
They don't weigh it by the distance between last and second last.
I wish that if only they did, because
yeah.
I mean, I think Calgary's still closer to playoffs than we are to Calgary. Yeah, they're 10 points from playoffs, and we are 13 points to Calgary. Actually, yeah, Calgary's 13 points
9
to the
points.
division spot, and we're 13.
Oh man, that's just sad. The thing that ranks Michael Ranks, shout out, he was on the last episode. He did a great reel showing just how historically bad this Pacific Division is, and one of them, assuming Utah doesn't beat the Ducks or the Oilers or Vegas, which They easily could, because I think on paper they've had the best year, the best regular season between those four. Someone from this terrible Pacific, who's not top 16 in the league, is going to be in the Western Conference Finals. And they're going to play a beat-up Avs, Minnesota, or Dallas.
I do think the funniest outcome from this year is one of the Pacific Division teams winning the Cup after being in the worst division.
Again, it could happen.
I don't know. I still don't see it. There's no way these teams are this bad and manage to win 4 playoff series.
See, with the Pacific specifically, I look at it specifically. I look at it this way: the odds are always like, oh, this team has a 2% chance, 3%, 4%. I love being analytics brain, but throw all of that out the door. Nobody that is their first time in the playoffs in 10 years with this core has a legitimate chance at winning the Cup. They might get to the Cup, but they're not going to win it. So I would say the Ducks actually have a 0% chance of winning. They could be, again, they could go to the conference finals, they could go to the finals, but I don't think they have a legit chance of ever actually winning in any universe. Vegas and Oilers then really are and the same thing would apply to Utah, the exact same thing, because they're a young team, they're new. So the only chance they have is Vegas and the Oilers. The Oilers have one goalie that's like average, and besides that they've got a lump. Vegas has 2 lumps, and they've got an even worse defensive structure than Edmonton. Like, they got Rasmus Anderson, and they got worse defensively. That's not a good sign. Clearly, their coaching system, that time is up. But they have won a Cup, so I'd say you give them like a 35% chance in a series against Edmonton, and then you give the Oilers 65% chance. So between them, you've maybe got like a 5-10% chance at the Cup.
This is gonna age really bad if Vegas beats Edmonton now.
They'd have to really change the way they're playing. It's not like the Oilers, where they historically have always stepped up, and even though there are some issues, especially with goaltending, there are some like glaring issues that aren't just a matter of intensity. It very much boils down to, for the Oilers, that they've been missing guys. People forget they missed Hyman for 38 games. Nugent-Hopkins missed 10 games. Draisaitl now is going to have missed 15 games. That's 3 very, very, very crucial guys that are, in Nugent-Hopkins' case, a borderline elite player, Hyman an elite player, and Draisaitl one of the best, though that have been just absolutely depleted most of the year. That's a forgotten part of this Oilers season, is they have legitimately been missing help at forward, and a lot of the depth that they've come up hasn't totally replaced the scoring. It's replaced the defense. Also, shout out Josh Szymanski. Before the game, I said, I was gassing him up literally 2 days ago, saying he has a ridiculous development path. I told my girlfriend before we went into Rogers' place that I think Szymanski's getting his first today, and he gets it in one of the dumbest goals, the dumbest first goals of all time. They thought it was Matt Savoy. They announced it as Matt Savoy, and then they re-announced it as Josh Szymanski. Anyways, I got a little caught up there.
You sounded like LeBron there.
I swear to God, though, on my life, right hand to God, I actually said he was going to score his first.
I remember a few years ago when I went to the Canucks game in Ottawa. I think that it was 2022. It must have been 2022. And on the Uber to the game, I said, I think Jack Studnicka is going to score his first as a Canuck today. And then when he scored, you can see me celebrating like crazy on the broadcast in the background, which is the best evidence that I got the prediction right. Because like, why would I be celebrating a Jack Studnicka goal that hard otherwise?
That's true. I should have posted something on the story to document it. But like they announced it, and I was like, wait, what? Because I didn't even know that he was on the ice. I also didn't even know that Roby Jarventi was playing his first game for the Oilers, and I thought he was okay.
I heard that on the broadcast, and I was like, what the fuck? Why is he here?
Yeah.
How is he here?
Everyone forgot about him.
Yeah, like Max Siplikov.
Oh, speaking of fantasy, that's a great segue. Yeah. I got matched up with, I think you guys can see the numbers. So I won the President's Trophy.
233.
That's right. Good, good. You can read numbers. Good job. I got matched up
It is
against
a
the
little bit
guy
tough to
who's
see.
second in points for, and for my money, I don't care about the matchup score. Points for shows how good you are. So I got matched up against the second best guy in the league, round one, and now I'm up by 50. I can do math. 54. So I mean, I think I can solidly say that I'm going to win that matchup. And the top prize in this league is $3,500. I've never even come close to winning. I need that money. Let me tell you, I need that money.
You need it. Yeah, you need it because you still need to give me $20 on my birthday.
Ooh, you know the monkey gif?
Yeah, but it's okay. You have a month and a half. You have a month and a half.
Yeah,
until
I have
my
a month and a
birthday.
half. Between
Okay.
those three fantasy leagues, at least I'm doing good in one.
So for me, this is a different fantasy league, but Xavier's in this one. He went 5-15. I have to point that out. This is our quarterfinals. Can is this? Can you see that?
Yeah. 123 to
Okay, it is.
187. Never
It's
mind.
167 to 123. Um, I'm facing Michael Ranks.
That's going to be on the internet forever.
I'm facing Michael Ranks, who's on Instagram Reels. You should check him out. Ranks.stats. He's on Instagram Reels and TikTok, and he does Instagram Reels. I'm winning by 44 right now, which should be comfortable, but we give out points for goalie goals, and in the playoffs, we
And
get
Michigan's.
50 points per goalie goal. Lucas Dostal, he has Lucas Dostal, and Dostal is definitely a risk for a goalie goal, I would say. I'm a little bit concerned. He's facing Buffalo, so hopefully Buffalo just is winning the whole game, and then I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I think that's the only way he can make a comeback on me now. Like even if he gets a couple hat tricks, I think he's still behind. So yeah, hopefully I can win this, get on to the quarterfinals. I would be facing our good friend Matt, who has Nikita Kucherov, so that's not very fun for me. Kucherov put up 40 fantasy points this week in this league out
Ugh!
of Matt's 180. So he almost had a quarter of Matt's entire points.
That's a whole day's worth of points. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I mean, yeah, he went crazy. It's kind of funny. Like that was 3 games worth, by the way. That was 3 games, and he got 40 fantasy points. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against Seattle. He had a goal and 2 assists against Vancouver. He had 2 goals and 2 assists against Edmonton. It's kind of funny that Vancouver played him the best, I guess. He really wasn't even that noticeable in that Vancouver game. He was very noticeable in the Edmonton game.
We gotta start drafting Kucherov first overall. He loves those regular season cookie points. He loves them.
I think it's still more it's more ethical than McKinnon. Nobody can out unethical McKinnon.
I don't know. It's just Kucherov is he doesn't score like useless points like McKinnon. We joke McKinnon does with the empty netters and like running up the score when it's already 5-0 or something. Kucherov legit sits at the blue line and is the most offense only player I have ever seen. His defensive impact is. I mean, I don't even know how good his defensive ability is because I've never seen him even try. And maybe that's just designated by the coach. Not his fault. He's playing amazing offensively, but that's just all he does.
He scored a shorty yesterday, so good penalty killing.
His first of his career. And it was
Yeah,
only
he has
because
like
it was a weird matchup.
he has like 15 total minutes of penalty killing time. that was his first shorty goal. He did say he wanted to penalty kill more. He said he could. I don't think he can.
Just
Tampa
for the
actually has a
shorthanded
really good
goals.
penalty kill. Tampa has a really good penalty kill, and they have a lot of really good penalty killing pieces, especially on forward like Sorelli Hagel. So they definitely don't need him to penalty kill.
No.
But I like that he said that he would.
He definitely. He's another player where, again, I don't think his defensive ability is bad. I just think he doesn't try, and the coach doesn't encourage him to care about defense. So that just isn't a part of his game. But like, if they forced him to trap up, he'd probably be really good at it, just because he's an incredible hockey player. So that's the only reason I can't even entertain the idea of him being a top 2 player in the league, because he just is so insanely one dimensional, even more so than a McDavid or a McKinnon when they're having a bad defensive year. At least they try.
Who is your heart pick right now?
People's heart definitions change. It would have been Celebrini, but now I'm not entirely sure if the Sharks are going to make it. They could still.
Do you think it's Celebrini if the Sharks make playoffs?
Yes. Yeah, I'd pick Celebrini if the Sharks ain't in the playoffs.
Okay, so if they don't make playoffs, who?
Werenski.
Okay, I don't actually hate that.
The way I decide the heart is who's carrying the hardest on the most fringe team, and I think Werenski is the Blue Jackets. Even if I wouldn't decisively pick him for the Norris, they have nothing else.
I don't really think it has to hinge on them being a fringe team. So like I would still have Kucherov, just because like Tampa Bay, I don't think would be at that level. Like I think they're still a playoff team without him, probably. But like you also think Braden Point has been so bad for a lot of this year, and they've been missing Victor Hedman. And when he is playing, he's not even been that good. And I think Kucherov has really gotten them to the point where they are still a cup contender this year and like still a very scary team. They do have other good pieces. It's not like a Taylor Hall carry job, but just the stuff he's doing this year is insane.
That's fair. I think, you know what, actually, by my own definition, I think I'm going to change my pick to McDavid, because the Oilers are not that good. And
God damn it. I thought that we were going to get out of this without you glazing the Oilers. I was so impressed.
I'm not glazing the Oilers. I'm saying that they're not good enough for me to say that McDavid is just part of a really good team, but he is the Oilers this year. Without him, they are not only a lottery team, but they're chasing the Canucks for last.
No, that's not true. You have no idea how bad we are.
It's true. I'm sorry. I've watched this team. I'm sorry.
Evan Bouchard's dog shit then. Do you agree?
No, he's good. I'm just saying that would be like the Canucks had Quinn Hughes and they were last.
You deadass think that if Connor McDavid weren't on the team, you would be chasing the Canucks, like with Leon Draisaitl too?
Yes.
You think... Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Assuming all their situation stays the same and they don't fill up with that, like they don't reuse McDavid's cap space or anything, like hypotheticals. But it's been that serious in the regular season this year. Yeah.
You think that McDavid alone has gotten Edmonton 27 of their points? Like single-handedly, he's gotten them 27 of their points.
Easily. More than that.
They wouldn't be able to win.
And I'd say, for your Bouchard argument, I'd say Bouchard has probably gotten them 16 or 20 points.
Okay, so without Bouchard and without McDavid, they're a 30-point team right now.
It would seem that way. They would probably be fighting with the Canucks for last.
Move on.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, but I don't like, and it depends on how you interpret the definition.
And Draisaitl and Hyman and Nugent Hopkins is not chasing this Vancouver Canucks team for last.
Well,
David hasn't even been that good recently.
They've been playing like, if McDavid had played better defensively post Olympic break, I would be a lot more decisive in that decision. But I see what you're saying. But I think he would deserve it. I think there's voter fatigue with McDavid.
I think if Draisaitl were out for longer, maybe. But Edmonton is just underperforming so bad right now that I don't think there's any way you can give it to a player on their team.
Fairs. It all depends on the definition, because a lot of people, and I don't know how people come to this conclusion, but a lot of people see it as the best team's best player. That is stupid. That is dumb, because it would go to McKinnon, and McKinnon totally could be a Hart candidate, maybe even win it this year, and I wouldn't be that upset. It would be the wrong pick, but I wouldn't be that upset. For me, it's the player that is most valuable to their team And I would add a little caveat. That means the greatest percentage of their success is due to this player. And in Werenski's case, like I said, I originally would give it to him. It's like half of the Blue Jackets wins are because of Werenski. Half of the Sharks wins are because of Celebrini. Half of the Oilers wins are because of McDavid. Half of Colorado's wins are not because of McKinnon. I would say not even like a third. He doesn't really add a ridiculous amount of value to their team. He's just a killer. He's just an amazing player. But he's not integral to the team.
Absolutely never the way to phrase that. You just said he doesn't add a ridiculous amount of value to their team. That is not the way to ever say that.
They would still be fighting for the Central Division spot. They would be below Dallas, but they would still be fighting for that top spot if you took McKinnon and just replaced it with $14 million worth of whatever players.
So maybe Marner should have won the Hart last year.
Fair.
Can we go back in time based on what the team looks like without a player? Maybe Ehlers should have won the Hart last year.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. I mean, the Vegas isn't doing much better.
No,
is the thing.
No. Carolina is though, so maybe Ehlers. Maybe Ehlers. Ehlers was the glue for Winnipeg, which actually might have been true.
He was a good player.
Like without him, they have one line. With him, at least they had like
one and a half lines.
Player on another line.
The issue with the Jets is Ehlers was their only player at forward, besides maybe Lowry, and he's really fallen off. He was the only player at forward who seemed to care about forechecking, even if he didn't. And again, they used him for like 15, 60 minutes a night for his entire career on the Jets. That's probably why he left. It hasn't improved too much on the Canes, but at least he's on a better team.
Scheifele, Connor, and Velarde are at 83, 79, and 58 points. Velarde's a little bit further behind, but still having a decent season. And then Morrissey's at 47 points. Then after that, it drops off to 27 for Cole Perfetti. They have 4 players above the 30-point mark, and they're like significantly above the 30-point mark. And then just a bunch of players in the 20s, including like Alex Iafallo is their 6th highest scorer. Jonathan Taves, who's been dog shit, is still number 7. Morgan Barron, Logan Stanley, who isn't even on the team. Niederreiter's been awful. Lowry, I think, has been injured this year. He's at 19 points in 58 games. And then, like, Kepke's at 14. Pearson got traded.
Oh, my goodness.
Mesnikov's been awful. Nyquist has been so bad. Like, ridiculously bad. He was really good 2 years ago. Last year, he kind of fell off with Minnesota and Nashville. 2 years ago, Gustav Nyquist had 75 points in 81 games. And this year, he has 12 points in 49 games. He's putting up Noah Juulsen numbers. He actually has like a very similar stat line to Noah Juulsen, 2 years removed from a 75-point season, where he was, like, in my opinion, probably a top 3 most underrated player in the league that year. Like, he was such a big... That line that they had in Nashville with him and Forsberg and O'Reilly was, like, insane in the back half of the season and, like, carried them into playoffs. And now he's just nothing. He's nothing. He is a sneeze. And he is 36. But, like, still, like, it's crazy how fast he fell off.
What do you do if you're the Jets, like, going forward?
Kill yourself. Neil Pionk only has 9 points in 42 games.
Ooh!
He had 39 points. He's been like a consistent 30-point player his whole career. He had 45 in his first year with Winnipeg. He has
that one stings. That one sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy what's happened there this year. They don't even have, like, the greatest prospects of all time, like what? I mean, Lambert's been playing NHL hockey this year. He's, like, not as good as he was supposed to be at one point. Salmonson's been playing games. They have Boumediene, who's, like, whatever.
Just a bunch of C-level prospects that are probably not going to be even top niners.
Yeah, it's... I wouldn't really love the spot I'm in if I'm a Jets fan right now.
You have nothing, and your guys are not really at the age where you can fully commit to selling them. Like Scheifele, Hellebuck, Connor, they're in their prime, and they will be for a few more years. and they're locked up to really team-friendly deals. I think maybe not so much in the case of Kyle Connor, but again, it's like you have to pay to keep guys in Winnipeg, and those are guys that have committed to staying in Winnipeg. Good luck getting more people to do that are at least as good as them. And at the same time, those guys have not given you anything, consistently not played better in the playoffs, not stepped up in the playoffs. It's it's truly the I think it is actually there are like worse looking situations of the league, but considering the city, the arena, 15,000 fans only, just the way that their prospect pool is lined up, that is the worst situation in the league for me. It really is.
It's that, or maybe the Rangers for me. The
Yeah.
Rangers are in a
They have the
separate
same
spot where
problem.
they're just kind of like they have their players are kind of too good. Like the top end players are too good where they can commit to a rebuild right now. So they've committed to a retool, which is what I heard for Vancouver.
Hmm.
I mean, I feel so much fun looking at these teams right now, knowing the Canucks were in that spot and now we're free. I mean, it
Yep.
feels like so freeing on my soul to just know that my
But
team is
but
ass,
the
or
Rangers
at least building.
have that same situation the Jets have, like in a hockey ops sense, where they have those guys that are in their prime, moving out of it in a few years, but not quite bad enough to actually move into a full rebuild. But they don't have the additional pressure of being in a terrible little town called Winnipeg on the Canadian Shield. Like people come to New York. Artemi Panarin was the most sought after free agent of the 2020s, of the 2010s, and he came to New York for way less than he would have gone anywhere else. And that's happened like many times. Russians just want to go to New York. People don't really have it on their no move clause. There is not a no move clause in this league, or a partial no trade clause that has at least one team on it that doesn't have Winnipeg on it. Nobody wants to go there, especially nobody important. And again, what we're seeing in this league now, all the good players, even some of them not even not good players, have no trade clauses, at least half no trade clauses. And again, there is not one no trade clause that does not at least have Winnipeg. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
Their top prospect right now, arguably, is Braden Yeager, and he kind of sucks. 25 points in 58
It's
days.
so depressing.
At age 21, that is their best prospect. Like, it looks bad for them. And then, like, I don't know. I mean, Salamonson, like, it's just...
Well, I'm sad now.
Thank goodness I'm...
I think I would move them because, like, if you don't, that team is really going to suck if they don't luck into a really good young player out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I'm pretty comfortable with where the Canucks are if we just keep losing. I really want DuPont next year. I think I'd way rather... I think that if we get second overall this year and first overall next year, that would be absolutely beautiful.
That'd be fine.
I don't need to win both. I'd way rather get first overall. I mean, second overall next year also good. It's Alexei Joseph, a very, very big forward. That would also be cool. I mean, one of these next two drafts, we need to get a top 2 pick. That's what it comes down to. At least one of these next two, we have to get a top 2. We have to end up with McKenna, Stenberg, DuPont, or Joseph. We gotta get one of those 4, and then I'm somewhat happy. If we can get 2 of those 4, great. DuPont is, I think, the real prize out of all those 4, though. I think DuPont is going to be the best of those 4.
Yeah, maybe. I think if you're the Canucks, for me, I'd probably want McKenna more. I'm not ridiculously high on DuPont. I'm not ridiculously high on any of those players, but I feel like you need the center, the tough center.
It's not center.
Who can punch, who can win a bar fight.
He's not a center.
You need that grit.
He is not a center.
Do you want to end it here?
He is a winger. Gavin McKenna is a winger.
Sorry,
He's not a center.
You're cutting out.
Gavin McKenna is not a center.
Oh, you're breaking up. What was that?
I think it would be great if we went for forwards in this draft and then got Landon DuPont next draft. I think that would be great. Because
Fairs.
I like Bouillon, I like Villander, but having a real 100% number 1 defenseman in that prospect pool would be so beautiful.
Yeah, that's what a lot of teams lack, and they chase it for so long. The only real way to get one is to either be New York and have someone like Adam Fox just will his way onto your team through
Which
absolute
DuPont
garbage.
is a Canucks fan. DuPont is
Which makes no
and it could
sense. He's
happen.
from Calgary. He's from Calgary.
He has the passion.
I see it. I see it happening. And I see the fit. And I do see the fit.
Okay, let's end it there.
They lost on Bedard and he was a Canucks fan, so they got to get one of them, right?
And Celebrini.
And Celebrini. Ooh. Now it's not going to happen. Okay. Well, we'll stop it there. We got things to do. We'll see you guys next time. That was a good chat for an hour. Say goodbye.
Wish that you would say please.
No. I never say please. The lion does not ask for permission. Say goodbye. Please.
Goodbye.
Okay, that was all. It was all. That's all it took.